That brings us to Order 143, 1819. City Clerk, could you please read that order?
Order number 143, 1819, Civil Service Commission, District 3, Pride, appointing Rosemary DeAngelis for a term that expires March 1st, 2024.
Okay, this item is now open for public discussion. Would anybody care to discuss this appointment? Seeing none, what is the wish of the council?
I move for appointment of Rosemary DeAngelis to the Civil Service Commission.
Very good. Councilor Pride, I see no second. Your motion fails. Would you like to come back to the council with another appointment at another time?
Yes, at this point I withdraw my motion.
Very good. Would anybody else care to speak at Citizen Discussion Part 1? Sir.
Adrian Dowling, Brick Hill Avenue. I am appalled at what I walked into this evening with this meeting, that none of you had the bravery or the courage or the moral fiber to offer a second. Even if you intended to vote against it, you couldn't even second his motion. His nomination, someone who he felt good enough about to appoint to this committee, you couldn't even second it for the purpose of discussion. When I was on this council, there were people who would put forward motions and I often wouldn't agree with them. But out of respect, so that they could have a chance to explain their motion and have a chance for it to go to public comment, I would second it so that they would have that opportunity. But I am beyond disgusted that someone who has served this city for over 5 years on this commission, when they do interviews for the police and fire department candidates, the chief calls up members of that commission and asks who can come out and participate in those interviews. There are two people who consistently, without hesitation, volunteer to take time out of their day to do that. One of them is Caroline Hendry. The other one is Rosemary DeAngelis. The chief can count on her when he needs her. You ask any member of that commission, any of them, regardless of whether they're friends with her, regardless of whether they like her, they will tell you that she has been a steadfast, stalwart, reliable, principled member of that commission. You will not find anyone who can say that she has done anything but her absolute best and that she has represented the city well on that commission. I am ashamed of what just happened here. I am aghast. I am so embarrassed. I am...
Your comments are on the record. Would anybody else like to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Rosemary DeAngelis, Pleasantdale.
Could you speak up?
Rosemary, I'm doing the best I can. Rosemary DeAngelis, Pleasantdale.
Thank you.
Let me first give my condolences to the family of firefighter Barnes of Berwick, who grew up in my hometown of Old Orchard Beach. 31 is young with a life ahead of him, and I know that firefighters across the state are mourning with his family and friends. 2 other young men died this week, 19-year-old Colby Earls and 28-year-old Christopher Reed Bowman. They did not die in service, but their deaths are tragic. They died of unintended drug overdose. Also young with families and lifetimes ahead of them, and their families and friends are also grieving. And I send my condolences to them also. I was racing to get here, trying to finish my comments and get here before what I expected to be my appointment to the Civil Service Commission. I'm really dismayed that no one up there had the decency to second that motion. I work with some of you. I know you. You know my commitment to the city. And will be interested to see what my nominee says when he has an opportunity to speak. Because I understood from our conversation that he would ask someone to be sure that there was a second. But I had written some comments here, and to say that when I met with Councillor Pride, he said to me, well, if I don't get a second to my motion, there'll be nothing to say. I mean, you're no one's favorite up there. And I was stunned when he made these comments, because even though I'm not your favorite, I really didn't think your personal view would cloud your assessment of me as a quality commissioner or someone who could serve on any committee. And I was stunned to think that I'm supposed to first please you to get your support, rather than have you evaluate me on my credentials, my ability, my commitment, or my willingness to serve. I'm not paid, it's simply my desire. So I have served on this commission for 2 years, and I've been really proud of the work that I've done. And I'm looking at each one of your faces and wondering what it is you hate so much about me. Because refusing to give a second is to say, I hate this person so much that I don't even want to see her serve the committee in this capacity that she served. And as former Councillor Dowling just said, I have been the one of two of the mainstays of doing interviews. In fact, I'm scheduled to do them on Friday, but I won't be able to do that because you have refused to reappoint me. And I really wonder how you put your head on your pillow at night and ask yourself, what is it about this person? Like, have I committed some crime? Have I done something so evil and so bad that you can't say, I second the motion, and let Councillor Pride speak to it? But you live with that, each one of you, Councillor Lewis, Carricchio, Morgan, Beecher, Dulac, and Henderson. You live with that on your own soul. And ask yourself what it is that I've done in my capacity as a commissioner on the civil service that warrants that action. Like, whatever that is, because the only answer you can come up with is, this is how we will punish her. This is how we'll punish a citizen for getting up and speaking, for getting up and saying what she thinks,
30
for
seconds.
getting up and giving her passion and her commitment to the city. Because I sat on that dais for 6 years, but when my terms ended, I didn't go away. I'm still here. Like many other councillors, you never see them anymore, but you see me here because I am committed to the city. And so if you're okay with that, if you're okay with just shutting me up because you don't like me,
Time.
Thank you.
that's fine. You live with that.
Thank you.
You live
Time.
with that on your soul. And I would
Time
ask
is up.
someone
Thank you.
to
Your
move
time
to
is
reconsider.
up.
I heard you. Okay?
Please step
And
away
I've been
from the
punished
podium.
enough. And what would you like to do, Mayor Morgan?
Please step
Maybe
away
you'd
from
like
the
to
podium
maybe
so that
you'd like to
others
have
may
the police haul me away. Maybe you'd like to say that's the crime that I've committed.
for a motion for
Or
recess.
no, let's do a motion to recess, okay? So moved.
Councillor
And we'll
Beecher,
take a
second.
10-minute break
Councillor
so that
Carricchio.
Councillor,
Those in favor of the recess?
great, go ahead.
We'll take a 15-minute recess.
Take your 15-minute recess. Go ahead and live with that. Just live with that, okay? And live with feeling good about it, because I will be sure that the press gets wind of this and has some sense of what is it that Rosemary DeAngelis did so wrong and so bad, okay, that she doesn't deserve a second for an appointment. I will not go away.
Probably at my own peril, I am going to address the elephant in the room briefly, very briefly. First, I want to say my respect for my fellow councilors is not in no way diminished by tonight's vote during appointments, and that there was a question directly to me, and I have promised myself that I would answer those. And I had discussions regarding getting a second, and as everyone could see, none materialized. That's, I have a great respect for tradition, and the tradition has been to renominate people who are currently in a position and to and who want to be there, and that's what I did. So that's all I'm going to say about that subject. I'm happy to talk to that person, talk to the potential appointee in person, and it is what it is, and I do feel some responsibility, and I am sorry. I will say that. But that's it. Otherwise, hope everybody has a happy Lent, happy Mardi Gras, and thank you.